It started 19 years ago, before we even knew about microbrews and Microsoft,
And liftoff of
before space shuttles and 777s, before CDs and CNN, before Who Shot JR, and who had the double with extra foam. Before any of that, the Mariners started playing baseball in the Northwest.
Hop back to Swift. Throw to second base out of the center field.
The team lost games, and managers lost their tempers. Kingdome ushers watched over empty seats, and October was for watching somebody else in the playoffs. Then came this year.
Randy looks to the skies. That is covered by the dome and bedlam as the Mariners now erupt. 19 long years of frustration is over. This is just indescribable.
But it wasn't over for Randy Johnson, now the first Mariner to win the Cy Young Award.
You have to go back to the days of old Hoss Radburn and Iron Man Joe McGinnity to find a time when one pitcher meant as much to his team's success in winning a title as Randy Johnson has meant to the Seattle Mariners in 1995.
Mariners making history. This is a KIRO Sports Special.
Good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to do what so many of you have asked us to do.
We're giving you a chance to see one more time and hear one more time the highlights of the wild ride that the Seattle Mariners gave us all in the past month.
It was a great season, great playoffs. We have some terrific moments lined up, so get a tape in the VCR, hit the record button, and enjoy it all. We'll have it all here for you tonight on KIRO.
We're going to begin where it all ended, at the Kingdome, last Tuesday night with announcers Dave Niehaus and Rick Riz.
The magic carpet ride is over, but my, oh my, what a ride it has been.
Dave, this is an incredible sight right now. 58,000 fans here in the Kingdome thanking the Mariners for just an incredible season from start to finish. Unfortunately, it comes to an end here on a Tuesday night, October the 17th.
The season may have ended on that Tuesday night, but baseball in Seattle came of age. After almost 19 years of losing games and disappointing fans, the Mariners gave us a September to remember, gave us heroes and improbable come-from-behind wins, gave us a reason to cheer, and in the end, a reason to cry. In those final moments, after that final loss to the Indians, a season's worth of emotion poured out of the fans and the players. For the stars like Edgar, the best hitter in all of baseball, to the youngster, Bob Walcott, whose pitching future with Seattle is indeed bright. In this season, when Randy Johnson carried the club high on his shoulders, clearly the most dominating pitcher in baseball today, the club lifted the entire community, gave us an attitude, made us refuse to lose. And when they did, it hurt. You could see it in the face of manager Lou Piniella and in the tears of Joey Cora. Most of all, this unbelievable season just ending gives us hope for those seasons to come. More great junior catches, more towering Buhner home runs, more Norm Charlton riding to the rescue. More of everything we came to love about the Mariners and baseball and Seattle.
My friends, you got a taste, didn't you? I mean, you got a big gulp of it. Here in 1995, and you know what it's all about. We certainly do.
Those two gentlemen, Dave Niehaus and Rick Riz, helped take us there all season long. It was marvelous listening to their call. We're going to miss listening to baseball, aren't we?
We're going to have to wait a while till we can hear them again, but they made it fun even before it was fun.
Right, they did.
Tony is over at the Kingdome. In fact, he's inside the clubhouse right now to tell us more about what we can remember from this great Mariners season. Tony?
Steve and Margaret, I got out my calculator earlier today, by the way. It's only about 169 days until opening day in 1996. I'm joined here in the locker room by Rick Riz and Dave Niehaus. These guys just apparently can't get any time off. I don't know. We've got to let them take a vacation at some point, but here they are. Thanks for being with us tonight, you guys. What a fabulous season, and we're just going to stretch it 90 more minutes, if that's okay.
We even haven't said hello yet, and I've already got tears in my eyes from watching the opening. I couldn't help but think, driving over to our studio, which happens to be the Mariner clubhouse this evening, that it was about this time exactly a week ago that Jay Buhner hit that 2-run home run in the 11th inning, and the Mariners took a 2-1 lead over the Cleveland Indians. It's been such a short time, and the emotions have gone from A to Z in that short time.
So much happens in baseball is every day. It's not every Sunday like the NFL or every 3 days like the NBA. It's every night a different emotion. And we'll talk about that as the show goes on, Rick and Dave. But I don't know how you guys wrung out that sponge so many times and still had enough left. And you may have had enough left for the World Series. You think you could have made it another 7 or 8 games?
Oh, yeah.
You better believe it.
We could have made it 7 or 8 games.
Everybody was running on fumes maybe at the end, but also a lot of adrenaline. I mean, watching those videotapes one more time, I mean, you still get goosebumps seeing how they did it. That was the amazing thing about this ball club, how they got there.
Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to see a lot of pictures, and we'll comment on each segment of this show. First thing we want to do is go back to the beginning. No, not 1976. We're talking about the beginning of this roller coaster season, which, remember, started with replacement baseball. Tonight, KIRO's Ron Callan starts us off back at the beginning of one of the most spectacular roller coaster rides ever.
It all seemed to strike, watch, and cheer Seattle to a 3-0 win, thanks to Randy Johnson and a big homer by Ken Griffey Jr. May 26th may be the most important date when you look back at the 1995 season.
Griffey up against the wall, jumps up, and he makes the catch and crashes into the fence. Griffey leaps right into the wall at the 380 mark.
Junior going full bore into that wall and receiving a round of applause as he leads.
It's always a serious concern when it's a dominant wrist in a professional athlete.
I'm sick at my stomach right now, man.
The severe injury would keep Junior out of 73 games, but it forced others in the lineup to rise to the occasion.
Swing and a blast to straightaway center field. Goodbye, baseball. Career.
Players like Mike Flowers, who has put together a 90-plus RBI season. Jay Buhner, who has some incredible numbers, career highs in homers and runs batted in. Tino Martinez, who played outstanding first base and has 30-plus homers. Edgar Martinez, who turns out to be the American League batting champion. Randy Johnson, who has all the statistics needed to win the American League Cy Young Award.
Last one.
In fact, Edgar, Tino, Randy, and Junior were all on the American League All-Star team at the ballpark in Arlington in July. However, at the All-Star break, Seattle was far behind the streaking Angels in the American League West. Mariner management decided to pull out all the stops to win the division. On July 14, they pick up reliever Norm Charlton, a former Mariner who also pitched for Lou Piniella on the 1990 Cincinnati Reds World Series winner. On July 31st, the Mariners traded pitcher Ron Vallone and outfielder Mark Newfield, two youngsters with a bright future, for starter Andy Bennett. Bennett is 7-1. On August 15, Vince Coleman joins the Mariners to provide some consistency in left field. And then the amazing stretch run. From August 2nd to September 21st, the Mariners won 21 of 29 games while the Angels collapsed. For the first time in the 19-year history of this beleaguered franchise, Seattle's Mariners were in the thick of a pennant race. The stretch run was punctuated by some dramatic comebacks. September 19th, Seattle trails 4-2 in the bottom of the ninth. Doug Strange is the batter.
Swung on and Melvin. Deep to right field, and it will fly away. And we are tied at 4-4.
Then with the score tied at 4, it's Ken Griffey's turn to win it.
I'm going to swung on and
Lined off the glove of the third baseman Ortiz. Here comes Strange. The Mariners win it 5-4.
September 22nd against Oakland, the A's take a 6-0 lead. Then Vince Coleman steps into the batter's box with the bases loaded.
Swing and a fly ball deep to right field. This is gone. A grand slam home run.
Then in the bottom of the 8th, one of the unsung heroes on the roster, Alex Diaz, is the batter with the score tied at 7.
Swing and a fly ball deep to left field. Going. Goodbye, baseball.
Perhaps the most dramatic, if you can top Diaz's blast, was on Sunday, September 24th. The Mariners down 8-7 in the bottom of the ninth. Tino Martinez at the plate.
Swung on and
belts it deep to right field, and that will be flying away, and the Mariners win it 9-8 in perhaps the most incredible game in their history.
Yeah, we're sitting there going, okay, he can hit one out, and we were all on the bench looking, and he hit it. And we just said, it's over. I mean, different guys, different night, and this is exciting for us.
The most important game of the 1995 season would be October 2nd, a one-game playoff with the California Angels for the American League West title. Fireballer Randy Johnson and former Mariner Mark Langston worked up a classic pitcher's duel for most of the contest, but in the bottom of inning number 6, watch what Luis Sojo does.
Here's the pitch, swinging a ground ball up the first base line, and it sneaks down by Snow, down the right field line into the bullpen. Here comes Flowers, here comes Tino, here comes Joey. The throw to the plate, cut off, the relay by Langston, gets that by Allenson. Flores scores, here comes Sojo, he scores! Everybody scores! Sojo comes in. The relay to the plate.
The Mariners win their first ever American League West title, and 19 years of frustration and futility is finally over.
Oh, God almighty, is that cold. All right, is that cold? Oh, God, is that cold. Randy Johnson threw the hell out of the ball. Heart and soul of his club, I tell you. Better than this. This guy. I'll tell you what, oh, boy, is that cold. A new hat, I owe you. Oh, God, is that cold. Está frío, coño. Está frío, no más coño. I'll tell you what, oh, boy, is that cold. But anyway.
We knew that the fans would be out supporting us. God, these people baseball nuts. It feels good to have Seattle going baseball crazy instead of football crazy, which I'm so used to. It feels good.
We got contributions from our bench. We got contributions from everybody. And that's what it takes to win. That's why it's a team.
It's fine and everything. We celebrated. It was a tough road. You got to tip your hat to the Angels. I mean, they gave up the lead, and then they came back strong. And, I mean, it was a great game. I mean, this is great, and it's just only going to get better.
We're back live in the Mariner clubhouse enjoying that great piece about the regular season. I don't know how in the world you guys can remember all the things that happened. It's got to blend together. Rick, do you have anything that really stands out in the regular season?
Well, Tony, it's tough to pick out one thing, but first of all, I'm not sure. Did Lou say that champagne was cold?
I think
did he think it was cold? But what a celebration right here in that clubhouse after that game against California. Tony, so many things to try to pick out. Obviously, that game on August the 24th against the Yankees was where this ball club really took off. They went 25-11 after Ken Griffey Jr. hit that game-winning two-run home run in the bottom of the ninth inning. If you recall, Joey Corey hit that soft line drive to Tony Fernandez, and somehow it hit him off the back of the glove and went into left field that allowed Jr. to come up and hit that home run. But I think that was the one moment where this ball club really took off. But then there's so many others. The Doug Strange pinch hit home run in the bottom of the ninth inning to tie the game, and then Griffey wins the game in the 11th inning. Alex Diaz hits a three-run home run to beat the Oakland A's.
On and on and on.
Tino Martinez hits the two-run home run in the bottom of the ninth inning.
The book is this
Oh, and Luis Sojo, everybody scores. And the
I love that everybody scores.
With American League West.
Let's go to David.
And then the Yankees game, game 5.
Yeah. Dave,
well, I think August the 24th, but the one game that I think I will remember it, I don't think I've ever seen it before, may never see it again, is when we're in Chicago, and Lou goes and gets Jeff Nelson to strike out one guy, goes and gets Lee Goodham to strike out another, gets Bill Risley to strike out 3 in a row with the bases loaded, nobody out. And that was one of the most phenomenal things I have ever seen in my life. 3 pitchers to get a strikeout apiece and keep the ball game where it was.
You know, it's funny, and that was, I think, about the only time we saw Lee Guterman, but he did the job when he had to do it.
Lee Guterman said that was the biggest thrill of his professional career. He got one guy out, struck him out.
Hey, but it worked, and that's when they needed it. We're going to come back in just a minute. We'll toss it back to Steve and Margaret. Plenty more to come from Dave and Rick here in the Mariner Clubhouse. For now, though, back to you guys.